The Community Environment Facility, CEF, is one of the programs of the Community Development Trust Fund, CDTF, established in 1996 as a channel of grants to grassroots organizations within Kenya. The funds are government-to-government aid from the European Union, Danida and SIDA.
Our role as a partner is to the extent possible, to support Kenyan policies and programs in order to make environmental protection a priority, which it should be.
CDTF is a semi-autonomous government agency, SAGA, under the Ministry of State for Planning and National Development and Vision 2030.
The main reason why this organization was formed was to respond to some of the very serious challenges of poverty. When that was started off, it was found to be a very viable approach. Why it was viable was because apart from providing resources, there was community involvement and capacity building within the community to actually take care of these projects. There were issues of looking at sustainability. Will the community mind about the project once you leave? Will they be able to run it?
The CEF disbursed 917 million shillings to 41 conservation and development projects and 27 environmental advocacy projects during the program's period 2006 to 2010. CEF supports communities in their efforts to alleviate poverty by providing financial and technical support to the sustainable community development initiatives that reduce poverty, conserve biodiversity, and improve ecological stability and environmental management.
The Community Environment Facility, popularly known as CEF, under the funding from the European Union, we have supported 25 projects based on ecosystems. And those projects, again based on the poverty alleviation and the conservation of the environment.
The initiatives supported are designed to reinforce capacity of communities to integrate environmental concerns into the development process at the local level.
The whole essence is to empower the local communities living within some of the key water catchment areas to link conservation and livelihood issues.
Action by communities to put in place sound environment management has been under several environmental themes, with impressive results on the development of local environmental conservation constituencies and lobby groups. Some of the main sound environment management sectors and activities supported by CEF include the following: conservation of threatened ecosystems, soil and water conservation methods, water, sanitation and pollution policies, waste management techniques, environmental education and management, alternative technology practices, natural resource management practices, environmental conflict management strategies, and initiatives that address degradation of coastal areas like beach management units and laws against ocean pollution.
And all those projects are progressing. Some have been completed. The communities implementing them, they are really appreciative, and they are seeing these projects bring benefits to them.
In the conservation of threatened ecosystems, communities with support from CEF took drastic measures in the rehabilitation of degraded areas such as the Greater Mau by planting trees in Sururu Forest in the eastern side of the Mau Forest.
And I think that the EU is extremely conscious that it could be, in this partnership which the EU has with Kenya, also play a role in being more active in the water towers in the years to come.
Through the rehabilitation exercise, significant impacts contributing towards increasing forest cover, biodiversity conservation, and water catchments protection, among others, were realized. Mau is a source of many rivers, including Joro River, which benefits Lake Nakuru National Park with direct contribution to the tourism sector and wildlife conservation in the Rift Valley. The Mara River flows to the western and southern parts of the Mau forest and drains into Lake Victoria, boosting the Nile Basin ecosystem.
The eighth world wonder is the Masamara. And if the Mara River is void of water, therefore the land around will become drier and it may affect the whole migration pattern.
Forestry-related activities include establishment of tree nurseries that produce seedlings used by communities to replant the degraded forests.
Tumejitahidi sana kuona tumeraise seedlings za kupanda katika ripa Njoro riparian na tena water catchment ya Mau.
The reforestation of Olborosat forest in Nyandarua has benefited from community replanting through a system known as Plantation Establishment and Livelihood Improvement Scheme, PELIS.
It was borrowed from Bama. It used to be called Taunja, whereby the locals are given a plot, then they cultivate their food crops, they come in, they plant tree seedlings, then they nurse and they tend those seedlings. Then the trees grow slowly. Then after maybe 3 years, the canopy closes, then you cannot grow any more of the food crop.
Along the 30-feet riparian area, communities have also planted indigenous trees. Those who live along the rivers Nyamindi and Thiba in Kirinyaga have benefited from the two rivers that drain into the drier Mwea area, where the waters are used for rice and horticulture irrigation before draining into Tana River. In soil and water conservation, CEF has supported several communities in the construction of water pans and sand dams in semi-arid province of Kenya such as Kitui and Booni. The water pans have reduced significantly the time previously spent going to the river by those near the water sources.
Zamani tulikuwa tukisota maji mbali sana kama kilomita 10 hivi, mtu akibeba mtungi kwa mgongo anachoka sana. Lakini sasa sisi wakina mama tunaona ni tumekaribiwa na maji sana na tukasikia vizuri sana na tunafurahi sana.
Construction of sand dams and terracing acts as a water storage facility where area residents dig shallow wells in dry seasons for water.
This is a dream come true because already you are seeing that we can harvest sand here in a very sustainable way. We can get water in a very sustainable way. And I'm sure that this community is not going to suffer again because of drought. And these are lessons that other communities need to emulate.
Some communities have also received support to address sanitation and pollution. In Mwea, the community put up Cef toilets to address the serious problem of pollution and contamination within the rice paddies.
The concept of Ecosan is to completely separate urine and stool, and also to make use of these two as resources. The concept also promotes human waste as actually a resource rather than a useless or the way we normally call it a waste.
This has reduced the risk of waterborne diseases to the local communities, and the positive results have enabled the community to adopt the same technology to manage human waste.
And in fact, they will be very useful to the community here, because before they used to go huko kwa mitaro, huko kwa mashamba, and there was increase of diarrhea diseases, increase of worms.
At Ringiti Island, the construction of the bio-toilet was put up to address human waste pollution in Lake Victoria, and on the same island with a capacity of 6,000 residents.
The population of 6,000 has no toilet facility, so human feces are scattered everywhere within the island. And by doing this, we shall have conserved our environment and taken care of our population health-wise.
Bio-toilets and digesters have also been put up to produce biogas energy from human and animal waste respectively. Fewer trees are cut as firewood by residents of areas such as Kuria, where these facilities have been put up. Solid waste has also been used to make charcoal briquettes from sawdust in Madeira in Nyeri, which reduces the pressure on trees for firewood. Alternative tools and technologies are also supported by CEF, and these include brick making that does not require firing to stabilize and hence reducing pressure on natural resources.
Hii ni rahisi sana na ni pale ni economy. Kwa maana hapa ukitoa ile matofali kama ile ikitolewa hiyo matofali haina kazi ingine ya kununua ati changalawe hata kwa kwenda kununua simiti kwa maana imetengenezwa na ikaweka joint. Kazi ya bundi tu ni kusikanisha tu inaenda mambo inaenda. Na ni wawili. Mtu wa mikono na bundi tu ipatia tu niweke. Kwa hivyo ni very simple.
Environmental education that includes creating awareness and advocacy for sound environmental practices improves the community's capacity to engage in the use and management of natural resources. The communities know their rights and obligations under the Environment Management and Coordination Act, EMCA, and other relevant sectoral policies and legislation that govern environment conservation. These include the Forest Act, Water Act, and current land policies, among others. Where there are gaps in communities to make use of the opportunities, CEF holds capacity building programs to train them to participate and engage fully in environmental governance.
That linkage, the collaboration aspect of it, has given us a lot of power. We're able to know even how to conserve, and we are even able to own the conservation.
Human-wildlife conflict leads to competition for rare resources between people and wildlife in areas that were previously wildlife dispersal zones. Animal existence is thus critical if conventional subsistence activities like farming are to continue in settlements that border protected areas. The community in Nyana in Kieni East in Nyeri County was supported by CEF to put up a 15-kilometer two-strand electric fence which enabled about 3,500 households to practice farming without the fear of animals which destroy their farms and can also cause death by trampling on the farmers.
These communities had a lot of problems. Previously, they used to get relief food. But now, as you can even see maize that has been harvested this season. Something they will be able to tell you they have not done for over 20 years.
The result of this is that there is increased on-farm productivity by farmers, leading to improved livelihoods and positive utilization of forest resources and protection of wildlife.
I'm open because of CEF and being God bless you, since I could not harvest potatoes, beans or maize in my shamba just across. We used to plant and see them admirable, but once harvesting time, owned animals destroying them and we were left with no food.
Overall, 10 community forest associations, CFAs, were formed and supported to develop management plans for their respective forest area. Water Resource User Associations, RUAs, were supported. 5 beach management units, BMUs, were capacity built, and CBOs contributed to piloting of new policies and legislation, thereby providing lessons on how best the communities can engage in the management of their environment and the sustainable use of the natural resources.
Clearly, the fact that you've gone through phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and now phase 4, and there's still more funding coming. Let me say, for example, in 2006, other donors said we would like to partner with the European Union in CDTF. The reason was just a sterling success of the projects, the shining example of their transparency, accountability, the shining example of the way they have integrated communities and allowed communities to take part and be partners. And so we got we got other donors. Danida came on board under the CEDA. And these two partners came on board.
As far as the CDTF is concerned, I must say I am struck by the professionalism of the staff about their drive to be successful. So I can only say my coffee for them.
One year. sikiriza vile twasema tuko na buga siku kama hii muthenya